Good morning, Year 2. It's great to see you for our last English lesson of the week. So today, the date is Friday, the 26th of February, 2021, and the learning objective is Write to Persuade. So please pause the video here to write the date and learning objective in your book. Well done, Year 2. So today, our learning objective is Write to Persuade, because as we create our wanted poster to find the terrible beast, we are persuading our audience to help us. Okay, so that's what we're going to be thinking about today. So just to share some key information with you to refocus on what we've been learning this week. At the very end of the story, they all watch the terrible beast bounce down the hills, never to be seen again. So Billy and her friends were off to get some chips, weren't they? But little did they know, suddenly there was a crack. The terrible beast had escaped from the steaming pot and he's now on the loose. So we must find him before he tries to create another terrible soup using animals as his unusual ingredients. So today, as we're going to be creating a wanted poster as our end of week outcome, I wanted to share some top tips with you on what to include. I know you've already been thinking about some of these key features already this week. So it's really important that we include a picture of the terrible beast, and I've absolutely loved your drawings of him. They've been incredible. And I know from talking to you all, you've really enjoyed drawing a picture of him as well. So I hope that you really enjoy that today. You can add colour as well, so that you're providing an audience with a really good idea of what the terrible beast looks like. You need to fill in key information such as where he was last seen and who to contact, and we're going to have a look at that together in a moment. Use details from the story to share why the terrible beast is wanted. So would you like to pause the video here, please, and discuss why is the terrible beast wanted? What is it that he did? Well done. So he tried to eat the animals, didn't he? But luckily, Billy saved the day. So the terrible beast is wanted because we want to avoid him trying to make any more terrible soup using unusual ingredients such as animals. You also need to write a detailed description of the terrible beast, sharing his appearance and how he behaves. So I know you've already been thinking about this when you created your role on the wall of the terrible beast, and you noted your descriptive phrases all around your amazing drawing. So as you describe his appearance, you might choose to use noun phrases or expanded noun phrases to add detail for the audience. We haven't discussed this yet, but you could also set a reward for any information provided or for finding the terrible beast. So I will share with you a reward I'm thinking of later on in the lesson. So first of all, I thought it'd be good to have a think about the key information we need to include on our wanted poster. So on Class Dojo, you will find this template which says wanted at the top, and you will also find a template which says missing at the top. So it's up to you if you use either of these templates, or you might want to create your own poster on a piece of paper or in your English book. So it's entirely up to you whether you use the templates I've provided or whether you create your own with the same key features. So as you can see here, I've borrowed one of your amazing drawings for the picture of the terrible beast. I thought this was a great representation of him. If we look at the comparison there are so many amazing drawings. So this isn't the only one. So I thought it'd be good to have a look at filling in this key information together. So first of all, Year 2, what is the animal's name? Well done, the terrible beast. And in the text, capital letters are used for terrible and for beast, as that is his name. So we've got the terrible beast, okay? Now moving on to type of animal. This one I found a little bit tricky when I was thinking about it, so I think it's great to talk about it. So of course he is an animal in the text, but as it's a story, and so a narrative, it is fictional, so it's a made-up story. So although he is an animal in the story, so he's a beast, I was thinking, what type of animal is he? So I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts here. So please pause the video to discuss what type of animal is the terrible beast. Great ideas, year two. So I was thinking, as it's a fictional story, the type of animal he is could also be fictional. So I was thinking that he is a monster, and that's the type of animal that he is. The next part of information we need to provide is where he was last seen. So if we go back to the last page in the text, he's obviously rolling down the hill in the steaming pot. But what scene? So what scene is this, and what is the setting in the story? So that will be where he was last seen, as the steaming pot cracked as it was bouncing down the hills, didn't it? So please pause the video here to discuss the setting of the story. So where was it happening? Well done, year two. The setting of the story was in the forest. So I've put last seen in the forest. The next part of information we need to provide is who to contact if you find him. So you might have lots of different ideas here. So for example, you might choose that you'd like people to contact Billy, because Billy was very helpful at talking to the terrible beast to persuade him not to eat the animals. However, you might have some other ideas. So please pause the video here to discuss who you think people should contact if they find the terrible beast. Well done. So I was thinking that I'd like the people to call the police, and we know what number they should call to call the police. So I haven't actually included that there. If you're unsure what this number is, this would be a great thing to discuss now. Okay, so as you can see here, there's a paragraph of lines underneath the picture of the terrible beast and some key information. I've added a couple of headings here, which you may like to use, or you may choose to include this information without these headings. So description. So this is where we're going to share information on why the terrible beast is wanted, using information from the text. And we're also going to share a detailed description of what he looks like, so his appearance and how he behaves. So for example, he's a very hungry monster, isn't he? And he's quite clumsy. And at the bottom here, I've added reward, and I'm going to share an example of a reward with you in a moment. So I thought it'd be good to come back to our learning from yesterday, as it's really important that we're thinking about different sentence types today when we're writing. So I'm going to share the model with you again. And I've highlighted some sentences in red. And what we're going to do after I've shared the model with you is discuss what sentence types are they, to see if you can remember your learning from yesterday. Okay, so I'm just going to share the description with you and the reward, which if I was writing on my poster, I'd be writing it here. Unfortunately, on the computer, I haven't got enough room to squeeze it in there, otherwise the text would be too small to share with you. Have you seen the terrible beast who escaped from being trapped inside a steaming pot? The terrible beast is extremely tall. He has green matted fur and fierce dark eyes. He likes to make a big pot of terrible soup with all sorts of unusual ingredients, such as animals. What a horrible monster he is! He must be found for this reason. You will be able to hear his loud rumbling tummy because he is always hungry. You will also be able to smell his sweaty feet from far away. Help find the terrible beast. Call the police if you see him, but do not go near him. Reward. If you find the terrible beast, you will be rewarded with £100. Okay, so first of all, let's have a look at the sentences highlighted in red. So the first sentence is, have you seen the terrible beast who escaped from being trapped inside a steaming pot? Is this sentence a statement, a command, a question, or an exclamation sentence? Please pause the video here to discuss and share your thinking behind why it is that type of sentence. Well done, Year 2. So this is a question as it is asking the reader something, and it is punctuated with a question mark at the end. Okay, let's have a look at the next sentence highlighted in red. The terrible beast is extremely tall. So this is just one example of this type of sentence, as there are more types of this sentence, particularly used in this paragraph here. So is this sentence here a statement, a command, a question, or an exclamation sentence, and why? Please pause the video here to discuss. Well done, Year 2. So this sentence is a statement as it is telling the reader something. So it's sharing information on what the terrible beast looks like by sharing that he is extremely tall. Well done. Let's have a look at the next sentence. It says, what a horrible monster he is. So is this sentence a statement, a command, a question, or an exclamation sentence, and how do you know? Brilliant thinking, Year 2. So this is an exclamation sentence, and it's an exclamation sentence because it begins with what, and it includes a subject, who is the horrible monster, and it is, which is the verb. So we need to begin an exclamation sentence with either the word what or how, and we must include a subject, so a person or a thing, and what they are doing. So here the verb is, the verb of being. So what a horrible monster he is. And as you can see here, it's punctuated with an exclamation mark. Okay, let's have a look at this last sentence here, highlighted in red. It says, help find the terrible beast. So is this a statement, a command, a question, or an exclamation? And why do you think that? Please pause here to discuss. Well done, Year 2. So this is a command as it's telling the reader to do something, and it begins with a verb, help. And as we discussed yesterday, it actually starts with more than one. Help find the terrible beast. Similar to the next sentence, call the police. The command starts with a verb, call. It's making a phone call. Okay, so brilliant thinking, Year 2. Thank you for joining me in discussing the different sentence types. What we're going to have a look at now is a couple of key features which we really need to include in our writing today. So it's really important that we share a description of what the terrible beast looks like and how he behaves, which is in this paragraph here, this second paragraph. We also need to share why he needs to be found. So I've included a sentence to make that really clear today as I reviewed my writing, and I thought perhaps I wasn't very clear on that in the model I shared yesterday. So I've added this sentence here because I shared he likes to make a big pot of terrible soup with all sorts of unusual ingredients, such as animals. What a horrible monster he is. And then I've added this sentence here just to make it really clear to the reader. He must be found for this reason. So the reason he needs to be found is because he likes to make a big pot of terrible soup with all sorts of unusual ingredients, such as animals. So that just added that sentence there to make it really clear that that's why he must be found. I also improved my writing today when reviewing the top tips of how to make a successful wanted poster by adding a reward. So at the end here, I've chosen to add a reward if the terrible beast has been found. You can also choose to provide perhaps another reward or a smaller reward, it's up to you, on if anybody shares some key information with you. So I put reward. If you find the terrible beast, you will be rewarded with £100. So they will be given £100 as a massive thank you and well done for finding the terrible beast. So it's really important today, similar to what I've just shared with you, that you use the top tips to help you think about the key features in your writing Okay, so you might want to rewind the video and review your learning as you go to just see if you've included these key features, as even I needed to make some improvements today when coming back to it. So I hope that's helpful, Year 2. Your task for today is to create your very own wanted poster, okay, including those key features that we have discussed. So I look forward to seeing those, as I'm sure that'll be absolutely amazing. And I can't wait to see your drawings of the terrible beast again. Once you've finished writing, please review and edit. Of course, this is always included in our learning journey in school, and I know you've been superstars with this at home as well. So once you've finished, think about improving your spelling, punctuation, and word choices to make improvements. So with your punctuation, you will be checking for capital letters and full stops, but also hopefully you've included a question, so you need to have used a question mark, and hopefully you've included an exclamation sentence, so you should have an exclamation mark. It'd also be good to review your word choices. So when you describe the terrible beast, hopefully you've really stretched yourself with using interesting adjectives and perhaps more than one before the noun as well to provide a really clear description to the audience. And then discuss and either share verbally, so in conversation with the adult helping you at home, or through writing, share a reflection based on this reflection sticker. How successful was your writing today? Justify this. That means you need to say why you think that. There are some sentences here to help you with your writing in your book or to aid your conversation. I think my writing was because this means that, so thinking about the impact on the audience. I am really proud of, again, you might then explain why you feel really proud of that. So I'm really looking forward to having a look at your wanted posters on Class Dojo Year 2, and I'm really proud of your amazing learning this week. Well done.